We haven't listed out the entire plan, but I'll tell you the thought process. We are all concerned that the child is saddled with too much a burden. And the tragedy is almost everyone wants a chapter to be added. So you have the traffic, you have the environment, you have the sanitation, everyone wants a chapter to be added. Yet everyone wants the burden to be reduced. How do we do it? Again, technology comes to the fore. There are two things that are being attempted. One, we are looking at redundant chapters, and you'll be surprised to know we have a chapter on the history of cricket. Now, should we have that chapter there? I mean, I'm not an expert, but my feeling is we'd rather not have that. He could be told. Why should we have, pages in a book telling the history of cricket? What we are actually trying to do is to how we use technology. And some very interesting experiments which I saw in my 3-4 months visit, I saw in Tamil Nadu. They are using QR codes. And QR code is a massive way of reducing the number of pages. You have a QR code. In fact, the beauty of QR code is at the back end you can keep changing it. And when you scan the QR code, you have the same literature or video, audio can be coming on that. The limitation is that right now, because of connectivity and availability of telephones, it may not work today. But the way the telephones are growing, I think that's the future. So you can reduce a lot of surface of the book through QR code. And there are many other ways in which it can be done. So what we are looking at is, can we use technology to reduce the size of the book? That's what we are looking at. Good you asked this question, otherwise I would have raised it myself. See, look at, this is another feature which we imported from Finland. Now, I'm not saying that's a wrong policy, as she says, but you have to understand the context. What is the context? If I did not have exams, I can tell about myself, I wouldn't have studied. That's the ground reality. It's not the ideal situation. Ideally, there should not be any exams, it should be regular, assessment of a child. Absolutely correct.
I'm not talking about assessment, detention.
So exam should be there. Secondly, if I am not detained, then what is the big deal? I will not study. I will not study. How many children will study if they are not detained? And we are looking at the consequence of it. Talk to children in class 9, they have not been detained for the past 4-5 years. They hardly know anything in class 9. So I am not saying that's ideal. Please don't mistake me. That's not ideal. But that's most practical. Because the way we have evolved as a society, I think unless you have some fear of detention, you don't do it. I repeat, it is not ideal. It should not be that way. But that's how we are. Sometimes what is eminently desirable is not practicable. Look at the impact of no detention policy on the ground. The children don't know anything. Now you can say, why didn't you teach them appropriately? Fair enough, they should be taught appropriately. But if you allow this to happen along with inappropriate teaching, it's recipe for disaster.